Hello and welcome to our new charter, number 23 of Azure Support Academy. In this new episode, we are going to cover several questions or several details that we need to know when we are using redirect connection policy. Also, we are going to cover several errors when you may have, depending on the configuration is, for example, we have an DNS configuration or we have a firewall that is preventing the access using the port that redirection connection use. My name is José Manuel Jurado. I am an escalation engineer working in Microsoft and subject matter expert in this technology. The first things that we need to know or understand is how works redirection connection policy. Well, basically, it's the following. When you are connecting to your database, when you're using server name.database.windows.net, the first connection always will go to the gateway, to the port 1433. If you have the configured the redirection policy in the portal in your server, or you are connecting inside of Azure, automatically the driver will connect to the real server that your database or your managed instance is running using another different port. Like in this case, for example, it's 1110. So suppose that we have many issues about the DNS configuration, or we have the firewall is not connecting correctly, or it's not configured correctly, because as you could see in the URL that we are going to show you, when you are using connection policy, redirection connection policy, you need to use a specific, you need to allow the connection to outbound connection to a specific range of ports from 11,000 to 12,000. You could have several issues, like in this one, that you could find errors. For example, 10060, that means that it's a network issue because something happened in terms of connectivity, firewall, DNS, etc. Other things that you could have is, for example, if the firewall is not allowing the connection to use this port 11,000, you could have this message, permissions denied. Or, for example, you are able to connect to the port 1433, but you are not able to connect to the port 11,019. You may receive this message like time not expire before connecting to the written destination, or for example, any other errors. Also, for example, when you are using .NET, even you could receive time to time one specific message about time not expire to obtaining the obtaining the connection pool. Okay, so for the reason, right now it's very important to have configured correctly this point. Okay, so as we mentioned before, we are going to start with the demo about how the redirection works using three main things. One application. This application is using Java. Basically, it's open the connection, measure the connection time, etc., using a connection pooler, Hikari connection pooler. Another things will be the connection policy will be proxy. Right now, we choose proxy for my server, and we are going to use Microsoft Network Monitor in order to capture the traffic that is happening between our servers and clients, etc. Okay, so let's try to run the application. The application is running right now, so it's starting up. Okay, so we have a connections. Okay, so as you mentioned, we have proxy connections, and we are going to start capturing the network traffic. So let's wait for a couple of this one. Yeah. So we have Java, as you can see here. Right now the connection that we have is basically, I'm going to stop here. Basically is my server or my PC using the process Java. My PC is connecting to my server using the port, the extension port 1433 and my port 29688. So we are going to change the information, the connection is fine, TTS, representing data, etc. Okay, so it's fine, so it's still working without issues, and I'm going to change to redirection. So I'm going to click here, click save, and I'm going to start again the connections. So the first connection, my application, there is no need to change my application. As you could see, the connection is still establishing without any problems. So right now, in let's say a couple of seconds, we are going to see a new port here. Let's wait for, yes, this one. Let me stop or pause this one. So right now, as you can see here, we have a new communication. So right now, as we mentioned, the port will be 1433, but after it, we are going to connect to my server, to the real server that is running my SQL server, to the port, one of the port that is listening for my server. For your server, for example, we could have other ports. So it's very important to know that the first connection, always when you're using connection pooler, you are going to open 143, and after it, you are going to open a new port 11,000. Okay, so for the reason, what is reason that the redirection is most faster? Because you have a direct connection against your server, right? So this is that's mean the connection, as you could see, everything is encrypted, okay, and that's it. So it's like redirection works. So right now, as we mentioned in the previous demo, we are using 1433, the port 11, one port between the range 11,000 to 12,000. We are connecting to another server. So at the end, we are going to have two DNS call, one for my server, another one for the new server that is running SQL database. And right now I'm going to, let's say, to block the connections basically to the port, for example, one of the ports about 11,000. For example, as you can see here, right now I have this error. This error means that, well, I'm not able to connect. The connection is not available. We are still facing some problems, let's say, because the connection is not valid. I'm not able to connect to the client because the connection has been marked as broken, etc. So because right now, as we mentioned, the second redirection, the connection to the port 11,000, is not possible to establish. So right now, I'm facing some multiple errors. Also, I saw connection reset by peers, because right now that is not possible to connect, right? So also, as we mentioned previously, the permissions denied. So right now, let's say that this application is trying to connect multiple times. Okay, so I'm going to enable the rule again, because right now my connection, my retry policy is trying to connect again. In a couple of seconds, when we reach the timeout, when I disable the rule that is preventing the access to this port, I'm going to be able to connect again without any problem. So, as you can see here, we have this error. Other error that we could find is, for example, if we don't have a correct DNS resolution. For example, right now I changed the DNS. Right now the IP is totally wrong. And right now, as you can see here, when I using connections redirect connection policy, when I try to connect to the port 11,000, I'm going to have the error about connections timeout. Okay, also we could have any other message about it. Other option that we could have is, for example, as we mentioned before, is a time not expired before connecting to the routing destination. So that's mean that this error means that it's not able to reach for any specific reason to the redirect server. Okay, thank you so much for attending these sessions. If you have any questions, please send an email to gmjurado@microsoft.com.